Welcome back, everybody, to another Those Guys You Hate mini-sesh. Tyler, the other Menendez brother, how you doing, bro?
I am doing fantastic, Ryan. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Great to be here with you, as always. And what are Those Guys You Hate? Mini-sesh it is a smaller portion of the show where we just tell a story from our past. Usually, it has some social overtones. It has us, waxing poetic and thinking philosophically and generally being wrong by the end. I don't want to give away too much.
Yeah, I couldn't have put it better myself other than...
So don't try.
Yeah. I mean, I could have put it a little less douchey than that. I don't know about philosophical.
I don't know how it could be more douchey. Tyler, this week, I'm going to be telling you a story from our past that I don't think that you know. There's a little Quentin Tarantino-esque twist at the end. And
from our past?
Well, it's from my past, and you're my brother, so we're, our past is your past.
I wasn't sure if this was a situation.
We all came from Adam and Eve, if I have that correct.
Like,
not Adam and Steve, Tyler.
Like,
is that hateful?
I mean, the people who say it are. I don't think the way you said it.
Thank you. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. And not just that, I threw a roadblock as you were trying to.
Well, many roadblocks. Many roadblocks. Many spike strips.
Unnecessarily.
You fired into the car, hit the child.
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody's dead.
So if you made it this far into it, we really appreciate it because this week we're actually going to be telling a story that makes sense. And it outlines a time in my life that is very influential to who I became. It was right after I came out of high school, and I was in disarray, Tyler. Yeah, to some degree, the beginning of this journey that we're on. I guess our whole life is the beginning, right?
I guess so, technically.
Well, I think of that. What I mean by that is I think of that as a separate time. I was a different person back then.
Oh, absolutely.
But to some degree, if I wasn't that person at the beginning, I never would have looked for change. I was really, really in a tough place. I was really in a lot of pain back then.
I think chaos is the perfect word for it.
Chaos. Yes, there was a lot of chaos in our lives. We've gone over that on many sessions. And at this point.
But I just meant mentally, just chaos, just in your mind, I would assume just pure chaos.
For sure. Yeah. And my inability to, feel anything,
and always chasing the high so you didn't have to feel anything.
Exactly right. And that's a perfect way to get into it, where I have said many times on this show, and I say it, I don't want to say more as shame, but I definitely don't want to come off as bragging because it certainly was not that. I was dating a stripper right after I came out of high school.
What?
Yeah,
Bro, that is so cool.
It was pretty cool.
It's so cool.
It was pretty cool.
Oh man, why are you bragging about that? That's not cool, dude.
Well, I peaked, and now it's just like rolling down this hill, and I want to grab anything that goes by.
A fast descent.
No, I was really unhappy, and I will say, without generalizing, I'm sure there are strippers out there who love it and they found their calling. I mean, there has to be, right?
Yeah, I don't think we can associate the profession with the mental health. Yes, I'm sure there are people out there who just do it because they love it. Screw it, I make a lot of money, and there are people.
But people do that though, and I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, that's okay.
People put those two things together.
Absolutely,
stripper. There's something mentally wrong with that person, and to some degree, I may be guilty of some of that myself in my deep, dark recesses.
I think we all are to some degree. I know you and I look at politicians and have that.
Well, that's just a fact, Tyler. I mean, that's just a fact.
My mistake.
I'm dead serious. I don't want to offend strippers, but politicians can go fuck themselves. Yeah, if you're a politician, shut this off. No, because
subscribe first, though, please.
Please. There is, and then forget about it. There is a deep desire for power in that way that you're willing to give up all the other anchors of life that I just don't trust. Now, with strippers to some degree, I think that I may draw some of those same parallels, but not for power. Well, actually, probably for power. Actually, now that I think of it, just a different type of power.
Sure. I think it's very easy for us to make moral judgments on certain professions.
I'm probably wrong about that. I should say that as you continue.
What's that?
Well, what I'm saying about strippers, that's probably a hole in my game that I should evaluate. That's probably not true.
And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is growth.
Tyler, erase that. I don't want people to hear that. I'm embarrassed.
I have a reputation to uphold.
So the fact of the matter, go ahead, please.
My assumption is that the relationship itself was a high. Being next to her was a high. The constant chaos. We grew up in so often chaos, so you needed a relationship that kept you in that chaos because that's what you're used to.
Well, The thing is, I didn't go to a strip club and meet somebody and start dating her. This was somebody I dated in high school, and we continued afterwards, and she decided to become a stripper.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. That sounds like very much chaotic.
Oh, it was tough, man. And the point that I was going to make is that, of course, not all strippers are created equal, but the ones that I have met, a lot of them have been dealing. Man, there's a part of me, and perhaps it's an incorrect part of me, that thinks, ooh, I am scared of how to put this, that can, in a lot of times, not for everybody, be a symptom of a deeper issue.
Sure. Yeah. I think that there is when you do these things, you do have to release some, I guess, personal respect for your body by letting strangers touch you constantly.
Well, you're seeing guys at their worst, or women, whatever gender, you're seeing people at their worst, and you start to associate over time whoever that is with all the other people in that gender. I think.
Absolutely.
It's like working at the DMV.
Yeah.
Get your hands off me, sir.
I don't think that's the DMV.
Stay behind the sneeze guard.
I don't think that's the DMV.
Is it a salad bar? Am I thinking of a salad bar? No. You know what I'm talking about with the sneeze guard. Everybody's got the bulletproof sheet.
Of course, that you purposely sneeze on just to test it?
I go around it because I don't like being told what to do.
Look how easily I can get around this thing.
This can't protect you, Sam. So,
oddly specific.
So the fact of the matter was this. It was a tumultuous time, and she, like you said, I think her specifically did not have respect for herself. She had some real problems with her parents. She had a drinking problem, and all of the same. Yes, checked all of those boxes.
Mm-hmm,
so we had a tough, we just had a tough go at it. So we decided to go to a party one night, okay? We go to this party. We're already in such a chaotic, tense relationship and we've all been there where you're with somebody and every little thing that they do just starts picking at you. You know what I mean? You know when the relationship is over, but nobody wants to admit it?
Yes.
Like with us 3 years ago, and here we are every fucking day. Tyler wakes up walking around the house in that ratty old robe. The magic's gone. But I'm too afraid to go find another brother.
If the sex wasn't so good, I'd leave too.
It's sad that that's all that we have.
Yeah.
But
incest humor for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Incest and jest. So the fact of the matter was, we go to this party. We're all drinking. Yeah, sorry. We'll definitely delete that in editing.
Hopefully.
For sure. So we get there, and I don't recall, because of the drinking and the drug use and all of those, fun little things, I don't recall if it was us that fought or if there was another thing going on at the party. But suffice it to say, it was wild AF, and the police got called.
Sure, I hasn't been at a party where the police get called.
Now, she and I are fighting. It is a big time problem. The police get called. We live in a upper middle class white suburb, Tyler. So the police, of course, do nothing. They do nothing. They go there and they see that we're all fucked up, and they just send us on our merry way. You know what I mean?
So they sent you away.
They sent us home. They put us in our cars all fucked up.
Okay, it was a different time.
And I've always been treated very nicely by police officers. I won't look too deeply into that.
You probably shouldn't. Otherwise, they'll revoke your status.
I stand with you. No, that's it. They just said, okay, disperse.
Well, that's something. That is doing something. You're solving the problem by making the crowd disperse.
I'm just saying there are other people who live in our society that don't get that same
treatment.
Yes.
Well, maybe those people deserve to be pistol whipped, Ryan. Have you ever thought about that?
I have, and I've concluded that it's not true. It's sometimes a little heavy-handed in different communities. That's all I'm saying.
I dare you to prove it.
I will turn on the news.
It's called the internet.
Yes. Tyler, I have bad news for you. So these police come. They are dealing with us directly. These two police officers dealing with us directly. She doesn't want to go home. She wants to stay there and party. She wants me to leave. My ego is out of control. My fear, all of those different things, prominent part in this. But she's my ride. So we leave together. We go to her neighborhood where we're both living. We're both living at the same time with her mother and her grandmother in this one house. Now, not only am I living with her and we're living our whole lives together, I work for her mother. So ostensibly, my whole life is dependent on these two women.
So you live with 3 generations of these people and work with 2 of them.
Correct. Well, I would just work with the mother, but I just let my whole life be set up on her. I became totally dependent on her.
Sugar mama.
Yes. Well, and it was tough. And instead of sugar, it was Xanax, Tyler.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Xanax mama.
Xanax mama.
Gotcha. It doesn't roll off the tongue as well, but yeah, why not?
No, you don't want it to. You want it to stay back there.
Yeah, it's the Xanax.
Now, we go there and we're fighting in the car ride all the way home. And this is toxic. Like, this is really bad. She and I had some really bad fights, man. And the thing is, when you think about a man and a woman fighting, this is right after I got out of high school. I was a very small
Black
kid.
belt.
No, I was a regular sized black belt, Tyler. No, I was very small when I came out of high school. Do you recall?
Yeah. We have this weird thing in our family that I'm just now realizing, like, I'm still growing height-wise.
Really late puberty.
Really late puberty. We're going through some really late development.
Sure.
It's probably all the steroids that we ate in our food growing up.
Well, when I was, I was really small coming out of high school, and she was bigger for a girl. And I don't mean heavy. I mean, she just was bigger.
Yeah.
And so when we would get in fights, it wasn't your standard, and we weren't punching each other in the face.
Would she pick you up and put you in timeout? Because that would be amazing.
Yeah, I got the big bird chair, Tyler, and it was demoralizing to our relationship. No, but so it was so bad that she lived in a gated community, Embassy Lakes over there. So
upper white class ladies.
Yeah, that they were doing pretty well. So she pulled the car over before we even got into the house, and this is how effed up we were. Yes, Tyler.
I called it upper white class. I meant upper middle class. But if that is not a Freudian slip, I don't know what is.
And I Freudian let you go on without questioning it. I didn't hear it because it sounded right at the time. This is what we need to fix, Tyler. We are the problems in a lot of ways.
Bias is everywhere.
Through the looking glass, ladies and gentlemen, Tyler and I get canceled. So listen, we're flawed people and we're on a journey to do better.
It was a good run, right?
Was it?
I don't know.
Was it? We're being moved down to lower white class here on Snowpiercer. So we get into such a bad fight. Of course, I don't even remember that the car is stopped and she gets out of the car. Now we're pulling into this long driveway before you get to the guard gate or the gate that goes up when you live there.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
She, for whatever the reason, pulls over to the side, gets out of the car, and starts running. Okay.
All right.
Like, have you ever been in a relationship where somebody's just done? We were over. You know what I mean? So she was pulling back. So I was reaching out even harder.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
There's a void there. So somebody tries to fill it with love.
It's like
angry love.
That's not love.
It's love, Tyler. I've looked it up.
Not.
It is. Shut up.
That's what the pills tell me. And the harder you push, the more they push away. It's like two opposing magnets, and the stronger one gets, the more resistant the other one becomes.
And that's it. Like, you're pulling away from me, so I need for you to prove right at this very second that you still love me by me acting in a way that's not very lovable.
Validate these feelings that I feel.
Please.
Yeah.
And I really do believe, a little side jaunt here, that true development, true growth in this place, and what I found is developing that ability to soothe yourself, developing the ability that when you're in the middle of one of those manic episodes, and those come at varying degrees, I feel them socially to a much lesser degree on a daily basis. So being able to soothe yourself, being able to acknowledge it and not needing that from someone else, working on being able to do it on your own.
Yep. Very well said.
So she starts running. She's running.
Was she fast?
She's fast as shit, bro. When we were in high school, she had a grill. She was the type of woman that would bite.
Not something you would put raw meat on.
No, gold teeth.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Good.
well, I would
thank you. No.
I would put my raw meat on it,
just about
Tyler,
to say thank you for not taking the bait.
He
ruined it.
I did. And it was too late to the party and it was unnecessary.
Sure.
She would bite the tops off of Corona bottles. She was one of those type of people. So she was the woman at our high school to not be trifled with. And I'd like that.
If you've got gold teeth, you might as well get some use out of them.
Sure. Like that bad guy from Bond, Jaws.
Sorry. Man, you're going back.
I got to tell you.
What decade is that?
I completely crash landed the show, Tyler, and I apologize.
He just threw up in person I know nothing of. Thank you so much.
She is, look him up. Good guy. He actually was in Happy Gilmore, the guy that he accidentally shot the nail into his head, the big giant boss.
Oh, yeah.
That was him. He was a Bond villain.
All right.
Sorry for doing this to the show. So she, for whatever reason, drugs, craziness, chaos, we needed it. She goes running past the guard gate, past the gate that goes up when you are a
car.
When you live there.
Sure.
Now, this will shock nobody at all.
Mm.
As she runs around the side and runs into the neighborhood, I decide to jump the gate. Okay? Just because that's who I am, bro. If we're going to do this, let's have fun.
You mean you're in the car and you're going to drive through it?
No. I mean, I got out of the car and started running after her. Okay? She's carrying her purse. She just goes running off. I have no idea why. Drogas, Tyler.
So you just parked and left your car there?
Left the car there with the keys in, with the doors open, with the lights on.
Okay.
Just running.
All right. So
just run, Tyler. You never just needed to run.
Gotcha. Well, yes, I do understand having to just run.
Sure.
I will say that, my experience is that the valet service works up and down that driveway.
Sure.
So I'm sure your car was in good hands.
I'm the Lamborghini back there with everything open.
Yes.
So I jump the guard gate. And as I'm sure you can imagine, under this much duress and Xanax and whatever else, I hit the gate. I hit the gate.
Got you. Okay.
And
you mean you didn't put your hands on it and ran full speed into it?
No, I jumped over it. I jumped.
But your feet clipped.
My feet clipped. I landed, knocked the gate off. Knocked the gate off.
Okay. All right. So less than stealthy is what you're saying.
The guard is about 10 feet from us.
Oh, gotcha.
Looking right at us.
Of course.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, this part, as she's running and I catch up to her because I am pretty fast.
Sure.
She drops her purse. Okay. I step on it to stop her from leaving, which is, I think, how you keep relationships afloat.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't have a leash at your disposal in that moment, then take their ID, their passport, their credit cards. Sure. That way you at least have something personal that they can't run away from.
That misery thing, like Kathy Bates.
Yeah, but how do you get them into the bed? You got to lead them in with the credit cards and the ID.
Xanax, Tyler.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. I mean, it's the long play.
So what did you do? You have your foot on the purse. What happened?
She goes to pull it.
Okay.
Falls into my knee. I know that sounds like she walked into a door. Tyler, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious.
My mouth is ajar, ladies
know,
and gentlemen.
Tyler falls into my knee. I know that sounds crazy.
Where in her face?
On her nose. On her nose.
Like the worst, other than the eye, the worst place you could land.
If somebody told me this, I wouldn't believe them. I wouldn't believe them.
Yeah.
And that's just fine. At this moment, the cops pull up.
Okay. Yeah.
Because apparently you're not allowed to Jackie Chan a couple of guard gates around here.
Sure.
Didn't realize I was living in communist China.
Well, think about how the guard gate, how the guard feels. He just watched you warm up with his beloved gate. And now he just watched you jump knee a poor woman in the nose.
Did he just yell out Kia?
I think so.
That's crazy.
Sir, you're not allowed to do that.
So the police walk up to us.
I'm just impressed you can get your knee up that high.
I am now. No, the knee is on the floor. She pulls it, and as
it was just a joke.
Inebriated, she goes down.
Sure.
So as the cops walk up, and of course I'm in the worst, position possible. It's the same two cops from the party.
Ah.
It's the same two cops from the party.
Hey guys.
Hey, what have you guys been doing? Did you make it to Dairy Queen?
Whoa. Well, I did what you told me. I got out of there.
You said lights out. So,
in a propes.
I'm explaining to them what happened. I said, dude, I know that this looks bad. Whatever. It was bad. It really was bad.
You got to fall to your knees at that point and hold her face in your hands. And I'm so sorry.
Maria. And it looked really bad. It was crazy. It was.
Did
really
they terrorize you?
No, they just wanted to be rid of us. They're like, yo, go home.
Yeah.
And again, privilege, bro.
Yeah.
So many people would not be awarded this opportunity at sleeping in their own bed because what we were doing was disgusting and destructive. And I hate to say those words, but it just
disgusting. I don't agree with. Destructive, yes.
We could have really hurt somebody. Forget ourselves.
Sure.
We were in so much pain that could have spilled out in that car. Dude, we shouldn't have been driving. We were a cautionary tale just waiting to happen.
Who speaks for the thousands of gates every year that get knocked down by belligerent teenagers?
That's exactly right.
Who speaks for them? Not I.
I do.
Oh, good for you.
And Bill Gates. So finally, we just get in the car. I say, and again, I'm just trying to do anything to keep this relationship afloat. It's toxic. It's terrible. I know we hate each other. Please don't leave me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. How's your relationship going now, by the way?
With this girl?
Yeah.
She won't return my emails.
Well, I think if you just keep trying, it'll eventually work out.
It'll work out. I in the movies, they tell you hang in there,
Well, to be serious for a moment.
No, please don't.
It just when we find ourselves in those situations, and I was there, my ex's name was Alex, and I found myself right there with her. And when we find ourselves in those positions, and I think so many people out there that hear these words can relate to that. Like, man, I've been in a super toxic relationship before.
I think people listen to this and they're like, I don't think people make that connection. I think they're like, dude, you are sick. How could this happen to you without thinking of their worst moments?
I agree with you. I'm not talking about that specific instance.
Yeah, this one's pretty bad.
It is pretty bad.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about being in a toxic relationship, whatever that looks like.
Whatever your version is.
Whatever it looks like.
I think ours were turned up to the nth degree.
Sure.
I know mine definitely were.
But it was all emotional because we weren't physical. It wasn't about punching. It was about psychological manipulation.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of people out there that can relate to being in toxic relationships. And when you find yourself in that position, you don't have to, but
it behooves you.
Suggested that you look inward and say, what is it in myself that to the point where I need another person around? Or I need this.
Or I think another powerful one is, why am I attracting these particular types of people?
Also very good. I mean? Also very good.
Can't I just meet a woman who has a good relationship with her dad, Tyler? Is that too much to ask? Dads, do a better job.
Well, first of all, good advice.
You're fucking it up for the rest of us.
Second of all, I'm sorry to sideswipe you like this as a city, but you would have to move out of Miami for that one, buddy.
No deal. But this place is filled with poppies, Tyler. What's the problem?
I can't find a connection between those two things.
If I go to Wisconsin, am I going to find corn poppies? I workshopped that one in my head, and I got the green light.
By who?
Somebody who is apparently trying to take this show down, Tyler. So at this point,
attacking us from the inside.
So at this point, we are drugged. We are tired. Our adrenaline is spent. Okay. It just, look, we've had enough toxicity for the night.
That's saying something.
We drive back to the house, which is like, 2 blocks away from where we were after dealing with these same cops again. We drive back to the house. Literally, we're like, I hate you. I hate you too. Mm-hmm. Let's just go to sleep, bro.
Yeah.
We'll fight it. We'll wake up a little bit less drunk, and we'll discover how much the hate really sticks around.
And I don't mean to be crass when I ask this. I legitimately ask, any hate sex that night, or did you guys literally just go straight to sleep?
Like facing the opposite side of the bed. We're so mad at each other.
Wow, that is some real anger.
It is really, really bad, and I can't even imagine that my hate sex would work that night. I mean, I was really effed up.
All I could have was the hate, but none of the sex.
Sure.
If you want, I could just lie on top of you and scream, I hate you.
We did that last night. So we're lying in bed and we're just being venomous to each other. Now we've drank so much. Our drink of choice back then was Smirnoff Citrus Twist, but the liter bottle, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Came in a plastic bottle. It was the Walmart special.
Okay.
I, after drinking all night, have to use the bathroom. Okay. But I'm lying in bed, and normally I'll put it off, but it's so bad. I got to go. You know what I mean? So
first world problems right there.
I get up to go to the bathroom. She's just going to pass out. This tells you the state of cleanliness that we're living in. Okay. As I'm walking with the lights off, I step upon a wine glass.
Oh.
A wine glass is left on the floor with wine in it.
Gotcha.
I mean, we're living in squalor. There's ashtrays, and it's just gross. You know what I mean? People who feel like that on the inside are disgusting on the outside.
Yes, very true. So out of all the things, you sat down, you sat up, you looked around, and you're like, out of all the things I could step on right now, you choose the wine glass.
It was pitch black. I couldn't see anything. I was hopping from ashtray to wine glass. It's like Twister.
The floor is lava.
Now, as you can imagine, I have no shoes on.
Oh.
It goes into the bottom of my foot.
Sure.
Okay, now.
Who won, the wine glass or the bottom of your foot?
I was going to say I was left standing, but that's not true. So this is how effed up I was. Out of pure pity and all that stuff, like to really prove a point. This is embarrassing to say, shameful admission. I didn't even wake her up. I crawled into the bathtub and just laid there.
Sure.
Like for maximum pity or something.
Sure.
This is hurting me to talk about.
Yeah.
You're
getting it from me right now, buddy.
And dude, I'm bleeding out pretty bad in this here bathtub. I hope that I'm not admitting too much here. It's a true story. You know what I mean? It's part of my history.
It's nice of you that you didn't just sit there and bleed all over her shit.
No.
It's polite of you.
Look what I did for us. And so I'm in the bathtub, I'm bleeding, all this stuff is going on. She luckily, notices I'm not there, comes in to find me, freaks out, and I'm like, like maximum pity amount.
Yeah.
She calls an ambulance. We're in big time trouble. I'm really in bad shape here.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say you're in trouble. You're just in a hairy predicament.
Well, I have imbibed a lot of alcohol. I've cut myself very badly in one of my extremities at the bottom of my foot. I'm bleeding very heavily. I'm in that bathtub for a pretty long amount of time. She calls the emergency. They all show up, including those same 2 police officers show up at the house. Come on in. That is the twist ending. Saw them 3 times.
Bro, are you following me?
They had a little punch card, and on the 5th one, I got a free sub.
What did they do? By any chance, remember what their reaction was?
I was like, I told you I'm pathetic. I told you. I just, man, I can't even imagine what they thought of us.
I bet you it was more frustrating than anything else. I bet you they came and saw you like, are you shitting me, dude?
We were the prequel to Breaking Bad, man. We were in such a bad place.
Yeah, minus the profit.
We hated ourselves so much that it spilled over and we hated each other, and we were doing anything that we could to delude ourselves, man, for a very long period of time.
Well, it's not even spilling over. It's if you do hate yourself and then you get into another relationship, I'm very hesitant to guarantee anything, but if you go through what we went through in hating yourself and you get in a relationship, chances are that other person will also feel the same way about themselves. It's not even spilling over. That is just how you are going to go about relationships.
Sure.
That is what is going to come naturally to you until you fix yourself, until you heal.
But so are you saying that before you get into a relationship, you have to achieve nirvana, or like, and I'm obviously pushing that to the maximum, but you're saying, you know, what you're saying could be a lifetime work. What should people do?
What I'm saying is good luck finding nirvana. I guess if you want to move out to a commune somewhere and give your life to silence.
I feel like I'm really close.
If you find yourself in relationships where the other person has these traits, it's just looking inward and asking yourself, why do I attract this? It's not about achieving anything. It's just asking yourself, why do I constantly find myself in these kinds of relationships? I found myself constantly in relationships with people who were insecure. Why? Because I was acme insecure. And that's what I was putting out.
Sure. And our vibes attract, I was going to say our tribes, but I would have to put a bullet in my head if I used that.
So poetic.
And that is the story of debauchery and insanity. And it was a very, very hard time for me. And it was very dark for me. And I'm grateful for it because I love the wisdom that I accrued through all of that pain. And what I think makes you and I such good messengers is that we're willing to put ourselves out there and explain, hey, this isn't something that we're writing up on a whiteboard for everybody to look at. This is something we've been through. We know the pain and the uncomfortability and the insecurity and the fear of vulnerability that you feel.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been there too. As a matter of fact, we're here often.
Definitely. And you can trust us. We have microphones.
How about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can also use your microphone to talk to us where, Tyler?
THOSEGUYSYOUHATE.com.
Really?
Yeah. There's a button at the bottom right.
How about that?
Voicemail. Leave us voicemails and subscribe on all your screens. The buttons are right there to touch.
Great job this week, Tyler. We are those guys you hate.
Be kind or we'll kill you.
Chicky.
So Tyler, you're just going to get it in. You're just going to get it in.
I don't understand. As I try to do this and I try to draw people in and just really show a side of our personalities, I feel like you're playing defense. When I'm trying to do chicky.
Ryan tries to come into these pre-games making a really annoying sound.
That's not true.
And I now learned
that's not true.
It's what is this? Mini-Sesh after session 124. And I just now learned to do a sound check to make sure the sound is high quality.
Professionals, Tyler.
Yeah.
We're professionals. So pre-game, you and I, we set up some wacky stuff. We converse, we get after it. Do you have anything? I know you got a little notes function in there. You got anything going on?
My notes function is in here. I'd be happy to pull something up if you like.
Let's see what you got.
Oh, I didn't realize you were going to be putting me on the spot like this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Last time you dove right in.
Dove right in.
A female deer. What's going on with you, Tyler? How about this? I have something we could talk about.
Mm-hmm.
How about, if you're open to it? Oh,
I'm open to most things, buddy.
I've heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell me about this gay event that you went to. I'm genuinely interested.
Oh, sure. I went to an event because it is Pride Month because, nothing frees up people more as a people than designating them a month.
So the day after the 31st, you just go back to hiding it, right?
That's it. That's it. I mean, but for that 1 month, we are on top of the world.
July, shame month. August, apology month.
Well, isn't that great? Because most months are shame months, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we've just really stretched that holiday out.
Only the months that end in Y. How many months end in Y? You got July, that's for sure.
December-wary, November-wary.
Okay, so
with me, they all end in Y, right?
I can't believe you didn't just stay there for 3 weeks. I'm shocked. So what happens here?
Well, I was put in a really weird situation simply because I went with two of my friends who had gone to the previous year's events that took place there, and apparently they were this spectacle.
Wild.
They were amazing. They were crazy.
This time, not so gay.
And no, they were plenty gay.
Right.
But yeah, we got there, and apparently it was my first time ever. Apparently it was not even close to previous years. I had a great time, but you know that thing when you're introducing one of your friends to something and you really want them to love it?
I feel that way with music.
Or showing somebody a video and they don't laugh and you're like, oh, you hate it, don't you?
You're driving in your car and you just keep peeking to your right. You're like, hold on, it's gonna drop. It's gonna drop. I swear to you, bro, it's gonna get gay.
So the entire time, I almost found myself like, no, I love it. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, no, this is my favorite movie. I love it.
And I really was having a great time.
Sure.
I genuinely was.
But they were feeling like you.
I think they were putting too much pressure. I know they were putting too much pressure on themselves.
I had that exact same experience very recently where a couple of our good friends were having a get together for Memorial Day. I brought Nicole over there and I'm like, let's go party. Everybody's got fucking kids. I really enjoyed it. I love being with my friends, but it's just us sitting at a table next to a pool with a baby there. And I'm like, what are we? It's just, man, our parties have changed so much. I don't even know whose baby that was.
Why are you going to let a baby hold you back? The baby can't keep you from doing crazy shit. Go ahead and just live your life, dude.
Tyler, have you ever done cocaine in front of a baby?
I plead the fifth.
It is awesome, dude. It is awesome. It adds that edge that you need.
They always cheer you on no matter what.
It's baby powder, okay?
Jesus.
Yeah. Like LeBron. I'm like LeBron. So I had that same experience. Like we're there.
Isn't that chalk?
And we're having, I'm like LeBron. And we're having, and it was nice and whatever, but I also felt apologetic because I expected it to be one of those crazy parties that we've had in the past where somebody joking around poured tequila in somebody else's eyes. You know what I mean?
Jokingly.
It's a true story.
No, I believe
Someone was in the pool. Mikey Weir splashed Nick in the eyes with tequila. It was terrible. He was deeply hurt. Hilarious.
Well, I'm sure, but
it was hilarious.
It sounds like he was lashing out a bit.
Way too much coke in front of that baby that day, man.
You got to stop indicting yourself like this. You're giving the court ammunition.
Business idea. We rent out babies to parties, Tyler. Think about that.
Like the pineapples of old.
Yes. Nobody gets that joke.
There's a couple. Go and explain it to the people because we are sophisticated here.
Pineapple were exotic fruit at a certain point, and like royalty had them.
They represented stature.
Sure, there you go. And like babies, but in the
like
reverse.
Babies today.
Sure, tiny little stature. You know what? I actually do. The pregame is just for jumping off of wacky ideas and going somewhere else.
Sure.
I actually do have a business idea that doesn't involve drugs and babies. That whole thing, satire. We don't recommend that. Those Guys You Hate does not recommend drugs v babies.
I guess I'm gonna tear up this blank check made out to you.
I've got to make some phone calls. Now, this one is going to sound ridiculous, but I genuinely mean it. I do think that there is something here. Trademark. Mailing it to myself.
There you go. Got it.
We're good?
That's official.
All right. Okay. When do you work out the hardest at a gym? Okay. This is a real question. It sounds like I'm setting up shtick, but I'm not.
Do you mean the scenario or the workout itself?
Well, if you are at a gym, where do you find yourself pushing yourself the hardest? When? And I mean, this is a rhetorical question.
I guess I would say at the dumbbells because I'm right in front of the mirror.
Okay, that's great. But what I'm going for here is when you're next to somebody you're attracted to.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I'm not saying that in any sort of sleazy way or whatever. You're just
your ego takes over.
Your ego takes over. Thank you, brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that could be the name, Ego's Gym or something like that. What if we just maintained a staff of incredibly attractive individuals ranging from really, really hot women to not so really hot women, hot guys. And whatever you're into, you fill out I feel like I'm losing you. I'm looking at your face. I feel like I'm losing you. This is real. I shouldn't have done that thing with the hot girls. I was going for a joke there. And you
have just broken several laws.
They're hired to just follow you around and watch you. So you are constantly at your optimal performance level. This is real. It sounds like a joke, but think about it.
Okay.
Ego's Gym.
Is it okay if we workshop this?
Tyler, you and me, there are no dumb ideas except for that last one.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so just so I'm clear, you want to hire people relative to their looks
at a very low rate because I'm going to need a lot of profit margin.
Gotcha. And you're definitely not getting healthcare. And this seems like a job where you'd want it.
Good looking people don't need healthcare
because there are plenty of, sorry to generalize, sleazy people that go to gyms. So you would have really attractive, beautiful, vulnerable women following around gigantic buff dudes.
No, it could be little weak twig-like dudes as well.
I'm just giving you specific.
That's how you're going to become the muscle-bound dude that nobody wants to be around.
I'm just giving you specific examples of people who might be uncomfortable in their job position.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. And again, we're just spitballing, and I feel like I'm losing you here. And I'll slap this final little thing on it because it's just coming to me now as we're talking about it. I'll leave it here. Ego's Gym. Maybe if you lift these weights, you'll get your dad's approval. What do you think about that?
Well, I think that not only would you get a lot of clientele that way.
Sure.
I think you would also be buried under hate mail and death threats.
From the people's fathers. They're like, I'll never love him.
Yeah. How dare you put me on the spot like
those
that?
Puny little biceps. There's like a unicep, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm picturing, you might as well call it come one, come all, bring your knives, all serial killers are welcome. Because you would get so many creeps into that place.
That'd be a lot of letters I'd have to put out front.
It's a lot of neon. I will admit it's a lot of neon.
Come one, come all. That would be the name of our gay bar, Tyler. Let's do the show.